So, cool. So you're a songwriter. Obviously, you're in the band Dreadnought. Uh, First of all, what's it like being in Dreadnought? It sounds like pretty awesome being the house band for a music hall.
It is awesome. It is awesome.
Yeah, what's your favorite part of that experience, I guess?
Oh well, it's just so much fun to play in front of a full house all the time, and to be able to interact with these fantastic authors. I mean, most of whom I've read and studied my whole life, and I think just the thrill of playing on that beautiful stage. And when the curtain goes up, you look out there, and it's gorgeous and beautiful. And every time I play, it gets more and more gorgeous and beautiful. And it's been a nice blessing to have done this for as long as we have, and it's a great time. It's a really great show.
So, is all of your music is original? I take it for Dreadnought.
Yeah, not the stuff that we do at the music hall. We do a lot of covers and material that's designed to kind of highlight the books.
The event.
Yeah, the event,
Books.
exactly. But Dreadnought is an original rock group, I guess.
So, how do you guys? What's the process like? How do you guys come up with your songs?
Well, we do it in a bunch of different ways, and back when we were younger men, it was a lot easier to get in the same room and just creatively toss ideas around. Now, a lot of times, we come up with stuff on our own, and then we toss it into the kitty, and we all work, and we make a piece of music out of it. But I think the thing that unifies all of our work together is a total and complete ruthlessness about the material. There is no ego. There is nothing personal. Just because I wrote it doesn't mean it's good. And it's all about what's going to serve the best interest of the material. So we've never had any compunction about ripping stuff apart, tearing it apart, cutting, sewing, destroying anything. I think that that's the real thing. And people, in my opinion, people who say that they are songwriters and who fall in love with their own material are in a really, really bad spot. Because it takes hundreds and hundreds of tunes to get through. If you're a songwriter and if you want that perfect lyrical, you want to express something, through your lyrics and through your music, boy, you got to write a lot of music to get there. And I think, I'm in the classical music industry, obviously, and, there's so much editing involved when you're writing a piece of music for orchestra or string quartet or anything. You got to really look at it empirically from a distance and say, I wrote that in the heat of the moment, and now in the cold light of day, here is what I need to do to make it the best piece of art that I can possibly make it. That's, to me, the most vital portion of composition or songwriting, and I think that's what Dreadnought has always done. That's always what I've tried to do, for sure.
So are we ever going to see Dreadnought at Portsmouth Singer-Songwriter Festival?
If you did, people would run screaming from the room. That's I remember one time we were playing a show, and when people would try and dance to our music, everything is kind of, it's not, right? So I remember our drummer's mom, God rest her soul, what a lovely lady of Greek heritage. She actually was listening to us play, and the only one in the room doing all the dances because of all those rhythms being from that part of the world. And that was when I knew I'd found our audience. The drummer's Greek mob. That's it, man. That's it.
That's a good audience to get.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot in recent years. Here and there, we've got a few songwriters that have, kind of propped up. There's Lady Gaga. There's Lorde.
Yeah.
There's, but it seems more and more that they're kind of dropping off. The singer-songwriter, in some ways, is kind of falling by the wayside. As more corporate acts, and it seems like songwriting is something that happens with some overweight white old dude in a back room somewhere, and then
the tune is given to the artist,
and then they're just handing things off to the artist.
Yeah.
So how do you feel, or maybe I'm wrong, how do you feel about the future of the singer-songwriter? Is it alive and well today, or are they dying out?
It's definitely alive and well. I think the singer-songwriter performer thing is morphing. You brought up a good point, and I find it interesting that you said Lady Gaga and Lorde being singer-songwriters. But the truth is that the best of the pop artists that are out there, those tunes can be played on an acoustic guitar with a singer. That's it. It's the music that actually can't that I get worried about. It's like, then there's something that's been lost in the creation of the music, or it's instead of bottom up, it's top down. It's more about a production aesthetic or a production technique, or one lick or one hook, and then filling in all the rest, as opposed to, you can boil down any Steely Dan tune, any Bob Dylan song, any Who song, into that one thing right there, you know, and that to me is that's the essence of a great song, you know. I think in terms of where it's going and how it's going, we are definitely seeing a bigger bifurcation in terms of you've got the dudes, the Jason Mraz types who are doing what they're doing, and John Mayer, and you know even those guys are now outdated. You know they're past their time. And you have all the actual songwriters and song pushers and the pitchers who are writing these, you know, voluminous chunks of material, sorting through it in an office with a Nashville record exec, and then saying, well, okay, then that's going to go to that artist, that's going to go to that artist, that's going to go to that artist. But that's what the Brill Building was. That's what, you know, Tin Pan Alley was, and that's what A&R is. You know, artists and repertoires thinking, well, here's a batch of material written by a songwriter, and here's a batch of artists. How do I make the right combination and the right fit? So I think it's kind of the same as it always has been, but I do think that, you know, the Ray LaMontagne, that type of guy with acoustic guitar thing, it'll never go away. We just happen to be, I think, in a valley at the moment.
And do you have a favorite singer-songwriter?
Oh boy, I have a lot of favorite singer-songwriters, but mine are all old guys, you know, all old dudes.
Like who?
Well, I mean, I would still say that you can't do a lot better than the British Invasion guys in a lot of ways, you know, because that was at a point when, and we're talking about pop music, we're not talking about like classical or anything like that, but that was at a point when the musical language was expanding, and it wasn't just kind of 50s rock, which I love, you know, Jerry Lee and Elvis and all that stuff, but when the musical language was expanding, the harmonic palette expanding, the rhythmic palette expanding, the production aesthetic expanding. And it's a great thing I saw on Twitter, I think, the other day, and it was Paul McCartney from maybe 82 or 83, and he was in the middle of a recording session for a film, and it was just one camera on him, and it's just him on acoustic guitar, and he's just diddling around, and someone just says, "Play for no one," and I think it was something like he hadn't played that song in like 20 years, something anecdotal along those lines, and he just sits there, one take, strums it out. He's looking off, no lyrics, you know, nothing, just blah blah blah. And it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. You know, how can you can't do much better than that, you know? Strip away all the sound of the piano and the recording, and take Ringo away, and take George Martin away, take the solo away, and it's just Paul and an acoustic guitar. I mean, it doesn't get a lot better than that. So those guys, McCartney and Pete Townsend and those cats, those are the guys that think they really had that connection between what they're singing, what they're playing, what they're writing, and what the audience wants to hear.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. This has been really great.
Cool.
And I look forward to Parma Music Festival.
Me too. Thank you very much.
Cool.